Hello, everybody, and welcome to whatever episode this is of the podcast. I just want to pop in really quickly because I've filmed like 2 or 3 podcasts now, and even edited some of them, and they haven't been like perfect, so I haven't published them. So I'm taking this video, and then it's gonna be like a clip show. So I have some good sheep clips, or some fairly decent sheep clips, and different little projects I've been working on, and I'm just gonna do it, okay? I'm just gonna publish it. And it's chaos in my house right now, but that's okay. That was Finn that just went running by. The kids are stalking their father. I think they're skunks or something like that. And Ruben is napping. And I am working on a new design that my mom has been helping me with. I wanted like a chunky sweater for a long time, one that uses super, because I think they're in now. I'm not a great judge of like what's in, but I think they're in, and it's so satisfying to work it up so quickly. So that's what I'm working on. I'm working on that and a lot of other things. And I'm actually almost ready to finish the body right now. So that's the other thing that I make videos and edit them and don't publish them. And then I also make patterns and write them down and never publish them. Okay, Finn. Okay, all right, settle down. It's like digital stage fright. I think I just coined a new term. That's pretty smart. Digital stage fright, that's what I get. I get real life stage fright too, so that's not generally surprising. Okay, but I can't forget here. What else was I supposed to talk? Okay, the Sylvie coat. So we're doing a Sylvie coat knit along, and it's been a little bit difficult. Like, we're trying to get like the best sizing and everything, and the pattern, I believe it's been translated. I contacted the designer, but I don't know, she hasn't gotten back to me, but I think it runs a little small, so folks have been asking about making it larger. I think the largest size listed is going to be fine for me. Hey, Elsie, I'm filming a video, please. Can you not yell at the dog? I said I was going to try to make this with minimal editing, so anyway. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to use the largest size, and I had suggested to people that they find their gauge. I know. But even if you didn't find your gauge and you're just using the suggested yarn, which is Atlantic and Briggs & Little, and the suggested needle size, you'll probably be okay. Just calculating the gauge and saying, like, what you do need to do is measure yourself, though, and compare that against the largest size and say, like, okay, I think the largest one is like 44-inch bust, and say, like, you would like, you know, a 50-inch or a 55-inch. Then you calculate how many, your gauge and seed stitch, and then that's how many more stitches you need to divide evenly between the back and the front. Well, not evenly, it would be half and then quarter. And then the sleeves are kind of bell-shaped anyway, but it would be the same deal for the sleeves. Like, okay, you know, I want them this much bigger than what they're actually listed. So it's a bit of math, and I don't blame you. Math is not my strong suit. But anyway, the other day I was like, all right, this is ridiculous. Don't get intimidated. You need to start your Sylvie coat. And then I realized I didn't have the right needles. I had some, but I wanted to make sure that I had the right cable length, because I have noticed that different needle brands have the fabric can work up differently. So I wanted to make sure that I had the same pair of needles through the whole thing and didn't need to switch brands. So I ordered another pair, which should be here today. So actually today could be the cast on day. And I think once I get knitting, I'm gonna be like, oh, this isn't so bad. I hope. Like I said, there's like 1,600 projects on Ravelry, and some people were like you get a whole gamut of reactions like, oh, this was fun, this was easier than it looked, and then someone's like, this took me 5 years to knit and it was such a struggle and I frogged it all when I was finally done. Like, but I do think it's like kind of an iconic sort of like you know, I don't want to say like a lifetime project, but it's definitely like a kind of a goalpost project. And I feel like most of the patterns that I suggest, like I go toward like easy, quick, fun, great beginner projects, you know, that sort of thing. But I'm not going to put any of those monikers on this because I don't think it's quick. I do think it'll work up pretty quickly once you get going. But yeah, and it's definitely a little complicated. Although I will say, like, those flowers are knit separately. So, like, I think that's what makes it look a little more, like, complicated is the flowers. But you are, like, sewing those on. So, anyway, that's another piece. Something to learn if you don't usually sew stuff on. But I'm excited. I think once we get going, it's going to be good. I have some books lined up for our book club. We're doing Suddenly the Cider Didn't Taste So Good by John Ford right now. And the book is hilarious. Like some of it is like facepalm moments. Like I hope people realize like not everything in the book is like, oh, I wholeheartedly endorse this behavior. But some of it is so silly it's fun to laugh at. And but it's a good book, and you definitely get the flavor for like for Maine culture for sure. Like this, it takes place during the 70s and 80s, but still. And I always worry about like controversial topics or whatever, but I think that you know, I think people are enjoying the book, and also I am planning on getting a book schedule up so that everyone can plan ahead of time, and if they're like, oh, this doesn't look like a book that I want to read, then you can just skip that one. Or like I only have so much time to read, you know, to do so many of these, and it's like, oh, that one down the road I really want to do, so I'll skip this one for now to do that one. And then I also had an idea that some people have trouble getting books, especially it's like we're always reading these books that are like hard to find, like out of print, or like a local publisher kind of thing. So I'm thinking of in advance taking orders for like kind of a book bundle that includes like the book and the yarn for whatever pattern we're doing, and some goodies, of course, because that's like, I love to do that. So wouldn't it be fun if it was like you get the book, you get the yarn you need. Probably won't include the needles since just most people have those anyway, or have preferences, you know. But like some tea, maybe like a mug, some chocolate. So that's my idea. I keep coming up with this. I want you to know this book club is just totally my baby. Like it's definitely not like a marketing ploy or anything, because I don't even. Yeah, this is just totally for me. So thank you. Anyway. Okay, something else that's coming. February is my birth month, and I always have like a big birthday blowout sale and like a week of giveaways. I'm so excited. And I have a couple ideas of what I want to do, but I'm open to ideas too, like as far as what we want to do for a sale. Sometimes I do like a ridiculous sale. I just don't want to like it's not really fair to the yarn stores that carry my yarn to like, you know, discount it so much that it's like, oh, why would I ever buy it from my yarn store when I can get it from you? But does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. That's not something that I understood until I started doing this, like the different roles, like in the process of getting yarn out to a person, you know, like to a place where you can buy it. Like there's different roles, and you know, most of the time they're working together. They're not like in conflict with each other. You know, if you buy Briggs & Little from somebody who's not me, it's still a good thing for me. Anyway, it's still a good thing anyway, because it's Briggs and Little, right? Okay, so this is gonna be a quick a quick discussion, and then I was gonna show you videos of sheep, but I'm remembering all the things I want to talk about now. And no editing, I'm just gonna publish it, so get ready. There's gonna be background noise. Okay, what even was I talking about? Okay, so birthday. I'm gonna be turning the big 3-0. Yes, indeed. In my early 20s, I couldn't wait to be 30 because I felt like, oh, I would have like more, you know, people would see me as responsible and, you know, a real adult. And then you get there and you're like, okay, can I go? Hi, I want to be the kid again. But no, I wholeheartedly believe that like I'm in the best years of my life right now. Like, you know, they say like high school is like the best years of your life, and if you had a disappointing high school experience, which I didn't have a disappointing one, but I wouldn't want to go back. Like it's so much fun, like being, you know, like having your kids and not having to worry about like, what are you gonna be when you grow up, and all the, you know, the pressure of all that stuff. Who are you gonna be? What's gonna happen? Who am I? It's just, I don't know, I'm enjoying it. So we'll see what the 30s are like. I know some of you are like 30, that's still a baby. But it feels big. My husband is a month younger than me, so he's all like, oh wow, you're turning 30, and then like as if a month later he's not gonna turn 30 as well. Anyway, I always kind of like throw myself a shindig too. Not always. This is something that I've done recently. See, this is why I feel like it's the older you get, like the nicer it is. Like I used to sit around like, what's everyone gonna do for me for my birthday? Like, you know. And then there was one year where everyone forgot my birthday. But now I'm like, I don't need to do that. I am taking myself out to eat. Like, we're gonna go to Bangor. We're gonna stay in a hotel. I am gonna dye some yarn. I'm gonna knit some stuff. So that's what I do. So I don't know what I'm gonna do this year. It is February in Maine. In years past, last year I wanted to try skiing. I've never been skiing before. I'm very uncoordinated. But last year on my birthday, it was so cold. It was like 20 below. So I was like, I don't know if I really want to learn skiing today. So anyway, if you have any good ideas for someone throwing themselves a birthday celebration, my family comes along too. It's not like I'm like all lonely and angry about it. You know, it's, I just, decide that I'm gonna have fun. I do. Anyway. So the funnest part is always the yarn sale or the specials. So I have some things in mind, and if you have ideas, I'd love to hear them too. Okay. So in the videos, I'm gonna show you one of them cut out while I was doing it, and I've given the sweater away, so I can't redo it, but it is my baby Winter Wonderland sweater, and I just showed you some comments while I was blocking it, which I will post, but it did cut out in the middle of it, and I was talking about the chart, and I was gonna say in the sample photos on the project page, so the actual project photos, not ones that people have done, but for the pattern, I see it both ways, which this will make more sense after you see the clip. So if you were going to take on that sweater, because I know a few people have talked about it, I would make a note first to just look at that chart and see if you want it to look like mine ended up looking, or more like kind of what you would expect it to look like. So this will make more sense when you see it. But anyway, the sweater is finished, and baby Hudson finally has it. Poor little Hudson. But it turned out it was fine anyway, because I think it's the 12-month size, but it's runs a little large, and which is great, and has a nice wide neck on it. Actually, when you're knitting the neck, it's like, okay, this is gonna be way too wide, but it's nice and stretchy, and it like kind of stretches in on itself, so it's perfect. So he'll be able to wear that for a long time. Ruben is still enjoying all the sweaters that everyone's knit him, and he's like, it's like perfectly moving up through the sizes too, so. But I think I owe Elsie a sweater. I haven't knit her a sweater in a little bit, and she's growing so fast. I made her a Bloomsbury out of Briggs & Little in like a hand-dyed sort of pink, but I'm thinking I almost like want to knit her another one because I love that pattern. I'll link it below. It's a beautiful, just like a regular raglan sweater, but down the sleeves and down the back is a beautiful lace pattern, and it comes in a worsted, and I think also a like sport weight or fingering weight. I believe, I might be making that up, but I know it at least comes in worsted because I made myself one in lilac too. But I think her most recent sweater I made her was the Sweet William sweater, which is the one with the cute little bunnies on the neckline, which she has outgrown. So I am on the hunt for a cute little girl sweater. And yeah, so that's my future plans. I finished some Ruska hats. Actually, I will go get you the Ruska hats because they're right there. And please slow down. Go on. No. Oops. What was that? This is this little plastic bag I accidentally stepped on. Oh my word. Okay, so I made 2 Ruska hats, which is part of our knit along. Oh, this one has really been mopped around because this was the toddler size, but it does run small, and this was too small, so Elsie begged me to allow her to use it for her stuffies, so that's what I've allowed her to do. And it was super quick. I made this while I was waiting for Elsie at her piano lesson. And I do think that the contrast was probably not enough for this color, so even though I feel like every project I cast on, like, okay, let's choose something that's not blue, and then I wind up just choosing blue. So this is my not blue hat. It's got bleached white, navy blue, and horizon blue. 2/3 of my not blue hat is in fact blue. But this pattern is like kind of, there's a couple things about it. Like the ribbing length is important because for all sizes, this is the same length. You can also add depth at the top, but I kind of controlled it with the ribbing. But once you get it down, it's actually a really nice, like repeatable hat. Like I could see myself making like a dozen of these for Christmas presents because the chart is like classic and like kind of satisfying. You know, it like follows a rhythm and it works up really quickly. And it's just a very like, you know, Nordic snowflake sort of looking hat. So yeah, I like the pattern. That was from Jessica McDonald, and Lisa, who knits for Wool Aid. She is a test knitter for Jessica, and I'm always seeing the beautiful things that she's making. She used Briggs & Little for most of her patterns because for Wool Aid, they need 100% wool for what they're doing. It's a really cool project. So she uses Briggs & Little yarn for most of that, and it's very cool to see her stuff on Instagram. Like she takes pictures along the way. So yeah, all good things to check out. And now this very quick video is now like 20 minutes. So I'm going to leave you with a random assortment of mostly sheep. Maybe some other things, but mostly sheep because you can't go wrong with videos of sheep. So the sheep are all tucked in, by the way. Now they're home. They have Some of them are in the barn, but they like, honestly, they don't really like being in the barn. I think it's like crowded and kind of congested, and you know, barns get dirty, that kind of thing. But anyway, they have like we feed round bales, so I should take some videos of this, but we have round bales, so we've like my dad stacked them all up in like a great big windbreak, and it's also like a snow break too, so it's cool. It's cool. They're happy, very happy. All right, I'm going to sign off. You can say hi, Elsie. She has piano lessons today, don't you? Oh, and the phone's ringing. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
No, Mommy, we're pretending we're rabbits.
Oh.
And we're trying to find a place to hibernate.
Oh.
And then at the end of the game, instead of hibernating, we go in there.
Oh, in the house?
Can we come in, please?
Not through the window. No rabbits through my window.
One baby.
Aww.
It's freezing. Can you show us the way to the door?
Yes, you go right around the house till you come to a big purple door.
Thank you.
Just telling her, I'm not really giving her a command, I'm just telling it, so eventually she'll associate that
As
way.
she does it naturally.
Almost in between. I'm trying to get her to take them off the fence.
That's tough. Ooh, hooked tail on her.
These pads have been doing it, but I don't really want them. Wait.
So when I think I'm having a bad day, I can just
I'm only going 30, but on this video it looks like driving a million miles an hour.
snowing harder.
We lost our windshield wiper. Ben, what have you done? What have you done? Mommy's yarn. Okay, so here's my baby winter wonderland sweater, and it's wet, so I'm going to block it. It turned out, I'm happy with how it turned out. The only thing is this part up here. I don't know if you can see how it's like kind of hooked like that. That was what the chart said, and I didn't, so I was sitting watching my movies. I was watching The Hobbit for this one, and I did not, I I don't know, I was just kind of like in follow the pattern, don't question it mode, because once I start down like questioning the pattern, I usually get myself all mixed up. And then I started to wonder though, because it's one stitch off from being like this. Like, they don't exactly meet up, but it would be like this shape. And I didn't see anything in like the errata or whatever it's called. But some of the pattern photos were, ouch, were like that. And then some of them were like this. Some were like this, some were like this. So I wasn't the only one. So that made me feel a little better. Wow, this is already dried out. I should have gotten a little wetter, I guess. And I don't really want to take it out. I think it's fine. I think it almost looks like, ornament hangers. You know what I mean? Like an ornament with a hanger. And I don't know. I don't know if it'll bother Hudson's mommy, who is a knitter, or hopefully not, because yeah, I don't really have any plans on taking it out. So hopefully it doesn't bother anybody. But yeah, I'm gonna get it blocked. I feel like maybe I should mist it a little more because it's actually pretty dry right now. And that's all the rest of my rainbow blockers. I love these. This is a really cool set. I need another one. That would have been a good thing to put on my Christmas list. But yeah, I did like the pattern. The yarn is luxurious cashmere, and the pattern was super cute. If I had it to do over again though, I probably would have just snuck that stitch over to make it line up. That's Ruben in the background being naughty. But it's super soft. It'll still fit him even though I was supposed to finish it before he was born. And honestly, what's funny is I would have finished it earlier, but I couldn't get the chart to print off, which was a printer problem, not a knitting or chart problem. And that kept me from starting the yoke. So I had most of the whole body done, and then the yoke I did in like, oh man, I mean, it must have been less than an hour, because I was watching movies over New Year's, revisiting the Hobbit trilogy. And yeah, didn't take me long at all. It was a cute pattern. It has a really wide neck. It doesn't really look it from here, but when on the needles you can tell it has a very wide neck, which I know in adults not everyone appreciates, but it's great for babies because their big old heads, it's so hard to get things to fit over their heads. So the longer it'll fit over their heads, the longer they can wear it. So I think he'll get a lot of use out of it. This might even last him until he's like 2 or so. So I'm hopeful. But ta-da! It's done. Winter Wonderland sweater.